Another week, another episode, and no artist confirmed for Eurovision 2026.
I love it when we start like, there's no news. Thank you very much. See ya.
I think there's plenty of news, but it's the same news all over again.
I know. But I think the news that matter the most here are the ones that we are just not getting. And
Hmm.
it feels wild to me that we are at this stage and we are a bit stuck in a rut.
This is a weird
But
season.
but there is plenty to discuss anyway. So we're gonna have a new episode of the Eurovision File. So welcome.
So the news that we were referring to, it's about the famous vote, this emergency vote that the EVU called that it was set to happen in early November. So we're actually counting the days by this point.
Yeah.
Because of course we were expecting something to happen after the vote, like artists confirmed, you know. But there was a turn of events.
Yeah. So there were news, but the news were there's no vote now, or it seems to be put on hold for a while. Um, so now what we are having is a discussion that has also been postponed to December. So it's not in
Mm.
November anymore. Obviously, this is because of the turn of events in the Middle East, and that's what the EBU mentioned in the statement, that in light of recent developments in the Middle East, the executive board agrees that there is a clear need for an open and personal discussion. So it seems it's going to be a face-to-face discussion.
Yeah. Yes,
Um,
because the vote was supposed to be online, and people are pointing that, of course, it's better to discuss these kind of things in person in the General Assembly that is in December.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
the big question mark here is there going to be a vote? Because in the statement that Maria just read, basically, there's no mention of any vote, but it's not ruling out a vote either.
Yeah, I think it almost creates more questions than answers. Because everyone was sort of clear until a few days ago that there was going to be a vote, and I think we had sort of clarified how many or how many countries you needed or how many votes you needed in order to take a decision one way or the other. So it did feel like things were clearing up, and then suddenly this happened, and everyone is again stuck with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the news coming from the Middle East are good news. I think ceasefire is good news in any case.
Yeah, we all agree, of course. This was the
Yes,
better outcome possible at this point.
absolutely. But I don't think, I think it's one of the arguments of some of the broadcasters. I don't think it necessarily clears up things, or everything that has happened with Eurovision and within the EBU over the past couple of years, really.
Yeah. The thing is that this was announced, or this was started to be announced on Monday, so 2 days ago. Today is Wednesday, and I'm quite surprised that no broadcaster came forward complaining about the cancellation or, yeah, the postponement of this discussion slash vote. I'm rather surprised that at least publicly there's been no statement from any of the broadcaster who, at least from those who said we need a discussion on Israel's participation or we're not participating next year.
Yes. I suppose they are probably trying to consider what their positioning is going to be. Obviously,
Mm.
it's suddenly a completely different political situation. And they probably have to be quite careful as well about how they position themselves, how they voice any concerns that they may have. We know that, it's always good to say things when you've cooled down.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think right now it's all very new. And we need to remember this is what's happened in the Middle East. It's a ceasefire. It's not a peace treaty as such. But
Hmm.
ceasefire, I think it's a very fragile situation. So I think all these broadcasters might be actually waiting just to see the developments over the next maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks, um, so that then they take a decision of what their position is going to be like when this discussion comes in December.
Yeah. Actually, there's one broadcaster who said even if a ceasefire is agreed before all the vote and everything happened, okay?
Yeah.
Even if a ceasefire is agreed, we won't take part if Israel takes part. And that
Mhm.
was Avrotros,
Okay.
which is the broadcaster from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, yes, is the only one that has positioned themselves. I believe ORF, which is the organizing broadcaster in Austria, has mentioned that they welcome the situation now.
Hmm.
But obviously, I think for them it's a very difficult situation as well, because obviously as an organizing broadcaster, they have certain responsibilities. We've mentioned in the previous uh, podcast, in the previous episode that we had, that there's a lot of money involved as well
Hmm.
for the organizing country, in terms of spending, in terms of potential revenue from the festival. It's a full week of lots of visitors and lots of activities and the food. It's just such a massive thing for a city like Vienna. So I completely understand as well the position from Orff saying they
Hmm.
welcome the situation, because I think they would be um destroyed, if there was any chance that the festival could be canceled next year.
It won't be cancelled. That's, of course, that's everyone's hopes that it won't be cancelled.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
Yes.
like a previous rumor saying that the Austrian chancellor said if you kick out Israel, we won't be hosting or we shouldn't be hosting.
Yeah.
But that was, again, it was false. The New York Times reporter confirmed that it was not true. But that kind of quotes was flying all over social media very rapidly. So everyone believed it.
Yes. Yes, but I think they probably can't say anything like that, because they got a massive responsibility as organizers. So um, they will not be able to say that. What they have said, and I believe they have actually confirmed this. I saw this in Reuters, on Reuters. It's that they welcome that the boycott doesn't seem to be in the cards. And yes, I don't think the festival necessarily was in danger as such, but the boycott would have meant a lot less countries.
Hmm.
And obviously, imagine a festival with 15 countries instead of 37. Suddenly you've got a situation where many people would say, well, there's not much point in going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let's go back to 1980s. That was the situation. Well, or the 70s.
yeah, but it was a completely different festival. I don't think it was a time where people traveled for it.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, again, as they said in the statement that the situation in the Middle East is developing like day to day, and so is the state of Eurovision at this point. Who's going to participate? Are there any countries that are going to withdraw? It's gonna be a vote? No, at all, just a discussion. We don't know yet. there's not been other statements rather than this one. So we have to wait. Of course, in the meantime, there are other broadcasters that may position themselves. We heard that there's going to be, or there was going to be, like a meeting in Iceland with all the Nordic broadcasters to kind of agree on a vote or a position regarding the participation of Israel. And this still can happen, and they can agree on what they want to discuss in December.
Yeah. I think lobbies are going to be happening almost everywhere in Europe.
Hmm.
So, and the Nordics is probably a very common situation that they will tend to agree on something, on a position. We know that the Nordics are quite tight with, when it comes to Eurovision, they have their own party and everything. Um, so yeah, it would make sense. Obviously, what we know as well is from the Nordic countries, Iceland was one of those countries that had a certain position. So the fact that it would be happening there, I
Yeah.
wonder if it it probably was Iceland actually leading that charge and saying let's discuss this and let's put our cards on the table.
And let's remember that the Norwegian broadcaster was one of the first ones to raise the point on the votes that they need to change. And that was just after Eurovision, like 2 weeks after Eurovision, that the voting system was not really helpful and could be easily manipulated.
Yeah.
So they can also raise that point in December, actually.
I think whatever happens, and obviously the situation right now is probably, I feel like it's maybe slightly leaning towards things staying as they were. But
Hmm.
I think definitely the voting system needs to change, or at
Yeah.
least not, maybe not the voting, not the way it works towards facing the public, like jury 50% and audience 50% and so on.
Mhm.
It's the actual, the pure voting from the public, the number of votes that everyone is allowed, what you provide in order to vote. Is it just the payment? Is it some kind of ID? um, just some kind of control, because obviously, we know that the vote this past year and also in 2024,
Hmm.
it was definitely leaning towards one side or the other because of bots, and they have to sort that out.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, this is in relation to the same country that they want
yes,
to remove from
but
at least 2026.
yeah, exactly. But we also know that because of that as well, a lot of other countries were affected because, maybe this, what in a normal situation would have been the second and the third and the fourth country, were not there. We know that everyone saw the whole public vote with their mouths open, because countries that you would have expected to do very well didn't do so well. And I don't think it was just um, that one country got a lot of votes and then the rest got
Hmm.
proportionally what they were expected to get. I think just that kind of situation affected the whole the whole system.
Yeah,
So whatever happens, I think the voting system needs to be fixed. And
agreed.
there needs to be, it needs to be clarified. I think it needs to be publicized as well before Eurovision. I think we found out how the voting was going to work when we were already in Basel. I
Hmm.
remember you discussing it in an interview, and you explained this is what's happening with the vote. We found out today, and we were already there. I think this needs to be clarified in advance. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
lots
we
of
had
things to
problems
clarify.
voting. I couldn't vote for Finland as many times as I wanted to. The line does not exist. I mean, because yeah, we have a UK, not even number, we do, but we have a UK debit card because it's well, we explained this many times now. It depends on your debit card and the issue of the country issue that where you
Yeah.
can vote. And the
Yeah.
BBC, it was the only broadcaster that made you just do a telephone call, which now they cancel for the following year.
Yes. And we know as well the price of the calls were completely different in some countries. To like the BBC was actually a very cheap vote, but there were countries where the cost was like 10 times the one of the BBC. Which
Switzerland.
obviously, yes, Switzerland, for example. We heard concerns about, people that could somehow change the country where they were voting from, even though they were not voting from there. Um, it's a whole situation that, like I say, I think if you make the rules very clear in advance and create a watertight system with the app or whatever you're using, I think it's always going to be there's always going to be a way around the system, but I think you need to try to make it as tight as possible. So at least people feel we did everything we could. I don't think this year they did everything they could with the voting system. So yes, hopefully that will be fixed.
Yeah, there's another point for discussion that in the General Assembly in December.
Yes.
And let's move on to some brighter news. In the last episode, we discussed the possibility of Moldova returning. Well, and ideally, Kosovo joining one day. But now we have some news coming from Bulgaria, which it's not confirmed or anything, but there's a new director of the broadcaster who was appointed like very recently, and there was a hint via their ex or former Twitter account saying something like, it's gonna be sooner than you expected. And of course, we can expect that this is in relation to Eurovision. So in the middle of all this problematic of countries withdrawing, there's some new ones that might want to return and take advantage of the positions of this country. I don't know if they're getting like a reduction of the fees so we can get more countries. It might be a possibility.
It could be a possibility. I wonder if they're being given certain guarantees about voting situations and so on, because I think some of these countries in the past have also left, not happy with their position, which might not have anything to do with the voting system and just be like, it didn't work.
Bad
But
song.
yeah, but it just didn't work for Eurovision what you took. But yeah, I think Bulgaria, any country that comes back, Romania, there are many countries out there that I think would be exciting to have back in Eurovision. So yeah, but I wonder with Bulgaria and the new director of the broadcaster talking, we've seen a few comments from the Lithuanian representative. Was it the Lithuanian one that was like just
The head of delegation, yeah,
saying things here and there, and I'm wondering like, are we gonna have that with Bulgaria as well? Big mouth.
I love this kind of people. Like tell us all
I
the
know,
gossip.
but it's like maybe we have another one in our hands. I love
We
that.
should we should invite the head of delegation from Lithuania to the podcast
To the
so he can
podcast.
tell.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
he would spill the beans.
Tell us.
Love that.
So yeah, there's another country that might return. North Macedonia is also rumored. We don't know if it's for next year, but it can happen in the nearer future. And again, the more the merrier.
Yeah. Very excited about that. And we don't have announcements of artists confirmed to go to Eurovision, but we do have some announcements of some artists that want to go to Eurovision.
So the first country to actually announce the selection of artists that will take part in the national final was Spain, the country that is set to withdraw if Israel participates.
Yes.
But as we know, BenidormFest is going ahead as planned, and we got the first set of artists of this season. um, I just know two names. I just know two people participating.
Yeah, it was funny. So obviously, when it was announced, it was a big thing. And many Eurovision satellite accounts, like, I mean, not satellite, but content creators were talking about like big names. And I was like, I am Spanish and I don't know these people.
I know.
I actually, like, the first name that I was like, I know this person. I didn't know the person. I know that he's a song of someone famous in Spain. So yeah, I
Whose
probably,
father represented Spain in Eurovision.
yeah. But yeah, I can't really say. I mean, it's true as well. I don't listen to as much Spanish music as I probably should. But yeah,
But
tough
I've
for
been
me.
doing some research. And this is something like BenidormFest usually does, and is looking for very, very brand new artists. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about people with no Spotify page. No, some of them they don't even have like a big following on social media accounts. So I think they're just fresh out of the oven. People who want to become artists.
But I think that's also being one of Eurovision's strong points. I think throughout the
Yeah.
years, the fact that many people, were completely unknown and suddenly
Hmm.
they became really famous because of Eurovision. I mean, did anyone know Celine Dion before Eurovision? Probably not. She was very young. She was very new to everything. And suddenly she obviously was at different time as well and no social media and so on. But I think it's good that new artists get an opportunity to
Yeah.
showcase in such a massive audience. And um, Benidorm Fest, even though it's a Spanish thing, a lot of people in Europe, like I say, there's been a lot of repercussion about like the announcement throughout Europe. A lot of people are going to be paying attention. So excited uh, about not knowing them, to be honest.
Because we will get to know them when
Yeah.
the selection
Yeah.
comes.
I mean, last year we had, I think I knew two artists, and one of
Sonia,
them,
Selena, and Melody.
Sonia's, exactly, Sonia, Selena, and Melody, and we got one of them representing. But this year, like I say, like I only know one name, and it's a son of. So I'm excited because I don't really know their music.
Yeah, but it's as you say, it's the beauty of Eurovision and the national selections. Like we get to listen to people who aspire to be a name in the music industry, and a lot of times they do success. So we're gonna have like a snippet of the song in December, so we have to wait. December is gonna be the month of this season, I think, because also in December we will have Festival Ikenges, so the Albanian national final, and Montesong, which is going to happen. Well, it's for Montenegro, of course. The name says it all. So it's on the 20th and 21st of December. Again, in December, everything is going to happen. The vote, the songs for Benidorm Fest, Festival Ikenges, and Montesson.
It's the season to be happy.
Is the most wonderful
Wonderful
time
time.
of the
The
year. And
year. Yeah, let's see what happens. But at least that 2020, 21st of December should be a good time, celebratory time, like music, new
Hmm.
music, etc. So yeah, excited. And also I think a lot of influence as well from Skodre Electronica in the Albanian national selection, which I'm very excited about. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, if they're like half as good, I am excited for Albania again. Love it.
Yeah, that was your favorite, the Eurovision 2025. Uh, so yeah, I think that's a great vibe. So I don't know what it means. In like, it's gonna be like a lot of folklore, a lot of Albanian lyrics, a little bit of both.
Yeah, who knows? But very excited. And if they could do something along those lines in terms of like the staging and so on, I think it would be really, really cool.
Yeah, Albania
Definitely
was.
don't change the colors.
It has to be red and black,
Black.
please, and in Albanian.
I
And
mean, Albania.
fire.
Yes. Cielo.
So you do the dance way better than I do.
Sorry. If you're listening, I was dancing.
You should be watching if you were listening.
Yeah, it was very bad. I think this background hurts the dancing vibes,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
we need to create the background now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, let's figure it out that for the next episode.
Yes. So there's not much
Yeah,
more.
there's not much more other than we would like to congratulate our colleagues from
And friends.
and friends, yes, of course, our friends from Eurovangelists podcast because they were nominated for a very special award, the Signal Award, and they came second. Congratulations, guys!
Yeah, well done, guys. Remember, a lot of the good ones were second, and it's still great. One Direction
Caria.
and One Direction were second at the X Factor, and look what happened to them. So remember,
One of
second
you
can be
could be
better.
the next Harry Styles of the podcasting entertainment. You never know.
You never know.
So we are waiting for more news, especially brighter ones. Do you have any guess of what could happen next,
What is
Maria?
gonna be next? I don't know. I really, really don't know.
Do you think we're
Um,
gonna get like an artist from a
I don't.
country
I
and like
genuinely,
confirmed?
I genuinely don't think they're going to do anything until we get clarification of what's happening in December. Honestly. So it's a very strange year because I think last year by December we had like 10 at least. So yeah,
I'm really sad.
I really hope we get a little bit more transparency about what's going on.
Hmm.
And we don't get like, we get a clear deadline of what's happening with dates and agreed dates and confirmed dates and where these things are happening. Um,
Hmm.
and who is attending these meetings. I think we need to know this information so that we can understand a little bit more what the whole discussion thing entails, because I think discussions is something, it's very
It's very
vague.
broad. Yeah.
It's very vague, yeah. But yeah, I think, are we going to know this by this time next week? No,
No.
I don't think so. I'm not optimistic about that.
I cannot really believe we have to wait until December to get any sense of idea of Eurovision
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah. And a lot of it is going to depend as well on things that are not related to music at all, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like we've mentioned before, it will depend as well on what's happening out there in the Middle East.
Hmm.
And it's the way it is.
Should we start like commenting like previous year's contests or something?
Well, we've done it before. We
Yeah.
probably should do a review of Vienna.
Austria. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we had Malmo, we did a review of Malmo, and I think that year is a very good year to watch.
You know what
Um,
would be interesting? Like in a month's time, we would be together for a few days. We could
yeah,
do like a live reaction of Vienna
we could do that.
2015.
We
Yeah.
could do that. What I'm not sure is we're gonna have evening times to do this because we are going to be together for a reason.
We're going to a set of concerts. I think we mentioned this in the last episode.
We
Uh,
mentioned it like every episode for like 3 months now.
because I'm so excited.
Yeah,
But
three nights, three catharsis concerts.
Well, we're gonna create content from the concerts, so don't worry, you'll
Absolutely.
get to know everything about it.
Yeah.
But I think we could do like some kind of reaction to Vienna 2015. At least we
Yeah.
can cut it and elaborate because we want to be live for 3 hours.
That's true. Yeah.
But we need to come up with something because if all the news and all the episodes are going to be about there's a vote, there's no vote, and I think it's
getting boring now. It's getting boring.
We are bored.
We promise we'll think of something fun to do when we meet in a month, in 4 weeks exactly. So
in the meantime, if you have any ideas, you can send us an email at Eurovision Files, theeurovisionfiles@gmail.com.
Yeah. And you can add comments to our Instagram posts. And and we are on TikTok and we are on Spotify. And remember, you can watch us on Spotify as well now and on YouTube. And we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere, guys. So add comments everywhere.
You can comment everywhere. We'll read to them, and then we can even mention your name on the podcast.
Definitely. But excited about, seeing you face to face finally again.
After, I think the last time I saw you was Eurovision.
6 months. It will be 6 months. Can't believe it's 5 months since Eurovision. Can you believe that?
It's gonna be halfway when I see you. It's gonna be halfway
exactly.
to Eurovision 2026.
It's gonna be exactly 6 months, but it's already 5 months now. So it's wild, guys. It's wild.
And nothing's happened yet.
Yeah. It's wild that there are no news. That news, but no, not the news.
Not the news we want. Not the news we want. It will happen eventually, hopefully, and we will be here to talk about them.
Yes. So I think until next time.
It's going to be until next time now. Yes. Probably next week or in 2 weeks' time, depending on the amount of videos we have.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening and for watching. Bye.
Thank you. Remember, you can subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave a 5-star review, and check out our Instagram account.